My phone buzzed on the nightstand, ripping me from sleep. The screen glowed with Mom's name, flashing like a warning. 3:47 a.m. My stomach twisted into knots. Late-night calls from family never mean good news. Never. I grabbed the phone, my fingers clumsy, and answered. Mom? What's wrong? Her voice came through, choked with sobs. Emily, it's Sophie. She's dying. My heart stopped. Sophie, my little sister. The doctors, they don't know what else to do. I sat up in bed, the room spinning. What happened? Is she in the hospital? It's her heart, Mom said, her words breaking. They found something during her checkup last week. It's spreading fast. The only specialist who can help is in Seattle. Her voice cracked, like glass about to shatter. We need your help, honey. Your dad and we've tried everything to get her treatment. I swung my legs over the bed, my bare feet hitting the cold floor. My laptop was on the desk. I opened it, hands shaking, and pulled up my bank app. How much are we talking about? Dad's voice cut in, low and strained. They put me on speaker, Emily. His usual steady tone was gone, replaced by something raw. Desperate. The procedure costs $150,000 for kids her age. We've raised most of it, but we're still $75,000 short. $75,000. My throat went dry. That was almost everything I'd saved since my first job at 16. Years of late shifts at the diner, packing sandwiches for lunch, saying no to weekend trips with friends. All of it, sitting in my savings account for someday. A business of my own. A future I could build. Can't the hospital work out a payment plan? I asked, my voice barely steady. They won't, Mom said, her words sharp with panic. It's experimental. Insurance won't touch it. Emily, please. She's your sister. The bank app loaded. My balance stared back at me, $80,500.42. The numbers seemed to pulse, like they knew what was coming. I swallowed hard. Let me talk to Sophie. There's some noise here, Dad said. Hold on. Then, her voice. Weak, barely there. Hey, Sophie, what's going on? Are you hurting? Yeah, she whispered. It comes and goes. She paused, and I heard a soft choke, like she was fighting tears. Send me a video call, I said, my chest tightening. I need to see you. A moment later, my phone lit up with FaceTime. Sophie's face appeared, pale as the hospital pillow behind her. The light was dim, but I could see dark circles under her eyes, her hair limp against her forehead. The specialist might see me next week, she said, her voice so soft I strained to hear. But if we can't pay, her eyes closed, and a tear slid down her cheek. Don't cry, I said, automatic, my own eyes burning. We'll figure this out. Dad's voice came back on the line. The window's closing, Emily. If we don't act now, your sister might not make it to New Year's. I looked at my savings again. $80,000. 13 years of dreaming, planning, scraping by. My safety net. My future. How do you know this doctor's legit? I'll email you everything, Dad said, quick, almost too quick. Hospital details, certifications, all of it. They're top-notch in Seattle. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. If I do this, you'll pay me back, right? Of course, honey, Mom said, her voice softer now. As soon as we can. You know we're okay. The house, our trips, the new car will help you rebuild your savings. We promise. Okay, I said, quieter than I meant. I'll transfer the money. Send me the account details. Oh, thank God, Mom sobbed. You're saving her life, Emily. You're saving your sister. Dad emailed the bank info while we were still talking. International transfer, just like they said. I double-checked every digit, my pulse hammering in my ears. I love you, Sophie said, her voice faint. I don't know how to thank you. Just get better, I said, my throat tight. That's enough. I hit confirm. $75,000, gone in a click. A message popped up, transaction complete. Done, I said. Their voices flooded with relief, like a wave breaking. Mom cried again, but it sounded different now. Lighter. Dad kept saying, "Thank you, Emily. Thank you." Sophie was quiet, probably too weak to speak. After we hung up, I sat in the dark, staring at my bank balance. $5,000 left. It felt small, guilty, like it knew it wasn't enough to matter anymore. "She has to survive," I whispered to my empty apartment. The words felt heavy, like a prayer. She has to. I didn't sleep. Instead, I made coffee, the machine hissing in the silence. I opened my laptop again, searching for flights to Seattle. If my sister was fighting for her life, I needed to be there. I needed to see her. I didn't know then that the hospital address they gave me wouldn't match any clinic in Seattle. I wouldn't figure that out for weeks. I sat at my desk, the laptop screen casting a pale glow across my tiny apartment. My bank app was still open, the balance staring back like a wound, $5,500.42. Just hours ago, it was $80,500. My savings, my future, everything I'd built since I was 16, gone in one desperate transfer to save my sister, Sophie. I rubbed my eyes, trying to shake the fog of exhaustion. The coffee I'd made was cold now, but I sipped it anyway. Bitter, like the knot in my chest. Mom's words echoed in my head. "You're saving her life, Emily. You're saving your sister." I wanted to believe her. I had to. Sophie's pale face on that FaceTime call, her voice so weak it was real, wasn't it? I opened the email Dad sent with the hospital details. Seattle Advanced Medical Center. The name sounded legitimate. Certifications, doctor profiles, a payment portal for international transfers. It all looked right. But something gnawed at me, a whisper I couldn't ignore. I typed the hospital's name into Google. The website loaded, sleek and professional. Photos of smiling doctors, high-tech equipment, testimonials from grateful patients. I clicked through every page, searching for a crack. Nothing seemed off. Not yet. I leaned back, my chair creaking. "She has to survive," I said again, to no one. The words felt like a tether, holding me together. I pulled up my bank app again, staring at the transaction history. Transfer to Seattle Advanced Medical Center, $75,000. Confirmed at 4:02 a.m. My hands shook as I scrolled back through years of deposits. Birthday checks from Grandma, overtime pay from the diner, every dollar I'd saved by skipping concerts, new clothes, vacations. All for a little marketing firm of my own. I'd even named it in my head, Bright Path Agency. Now it felt like a fantasy. "Emily, focus," I muttered, shaking my head. I opened a new tab and searched for flights to Seattle. If Sophie was having life-saving surgery, I needed to be there. I needed to hold her hand, see her smile again. The cheapest flight was $320, leaving tomorrow evening. I booked it, wincing as my balance dropped to $5,180. Every cent felt like a betrayal of my old plans, but Sophie was worth it. She had to be. I called Mom back, the phone ringing twice before she answered. "Emily, honey, you didn't have to call so soon," she said, her voice softer now, less frantic. "I'm coming to Seattle," I said. "I booked a flight for tomorrow. I want to be with Sophie." "Oh, sweetheart," Mom said, and I could hear her smile. "That's so thoughtful. But the hospital's strict about visitors right now. Sophie's in a delicate state. Maybe wait until she's stronger." My stomach twisted. "I just want to see her, Mom. Even for a minute." Of course, Dad cut in, his voice firm. "We'll arrange something. The doctors are optimistic, Emily. Thanks to you." "Thanks to me," I repeated, the words hollow. "Can I talk to Sophie again?" "She's resting," Mom said quickly. "The meds knock her out. But she knows you're her hero." I forced a smile, even though they couldn't see it. "Okay. Just keep me updated, all right?" "We will," Dad said. "We're so proud of you, Emily. You stepped up when it mattered." After we hung up, I opened the FaceTime app and replayed the call with Sophie. Her face, so pale, her eyes heavy with pain. But something caught my eye this time. The pillow behind her had a faint logo, barely visible in the dim light. I zoomed in, squinting. It didn't look like a hospital pillow. Too plush, too clean. I shook my head. You're overthinking, I told myself. She's sick. She needs you. I emailed Dad. Can you send the doctor's contact info? I want to ask about Sophie's condition. He replied within minutes. No need to bother them, Emily. We're handling it. Focus on work. We've got this. I stared at the email, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. Why wouldn't they want me to talk to the doctor? I pushed the thought away, but it clung like damp air. I opened my banking app again, double-checking the transfer. The recipient account was listed as an international medical trust. Everything matched the hospital's details. I stood, pacing the small living room. My apartment felt smaller now, like the walls were closing in. I grabbed my phone and texted Sophie. Hey, just checking in. Love you. Call me when you're up. No reply. She was probably asleep, like Mom said. I sank onto the couch, my laptop still open to the flight confirmation. Seattle was 2,000 miles away, but it felt like another world. I pictured Sophie in a sterile hospital bed, machines beeping, doctors rushing. I pictured her smiling when she saw me, her big sister who gave up everything to save her. I'll be there soon, I whispered, clutching my phone. The screen stayed dark. No texts, no calls. Just silence. I didn't sleep that night. I kept my laptop open, refreshing the hospital's website, reading every word. I told myself it was real. It had to be. I'd given up my dreams for Sophie, for family. They wouldn't lie to me. Not about this. But as the sun rose, painting my apartment in soft gray light, that whisper of doubt grew louder. I didn't know then that the hospital's website was a ghost, a polished facade with no address that matched any real clinic in Seattle. I didn't know I'd never find that flight to Sophie's bedside. Not yet. 3 weeks later, I stood in Dad's home office, rifling through his filing cabinet. Tax season loomed, and with my savings gutted, I needed my old W-2 forms to file early. No refund could wait. The smell of Mom's pot roast drifted from the kitchen, a Sunday tradition that used to feel like home. Now, it just turned my stomach. Any news on Sophie? I called out, flipping through folders. She's doing much better. Mom's voice floated back, bright and warm. The doctors are thrilled with her progress. I nodded, pulling out my phone to check the latest photo Sophie sent. There she was, giving a thumbs up from what looked like a hospital bed. Her smile was weak, but it was there. Something about the photo felt wrong, though. The lighting, maybe? I couldn't pin it down. I shoved the phone back in my pocket and yanked open the bottom drawer of the cabinet. It stuck, then gave way with a groan. An envelope slipped out, tumbling to the floor. I bent to pick it up. The flap wasn't sealed, and papers spilled across the carpet. My eyes caught the top documented bill from a luxury car dealership. A brand new Lexus RX, metallic silver. Purchased 5 days after my $75,000 transfer. The buyer's name hit me like a punch, Sophie. My hands trembled as I read the price. $70,000. $70,000. My money. My future. I sank to my knees, the papers crumpling in my grip. Need help with those forms? Mom called, her voice closer now. No, I said, forcing my voice to stay even. I'm good. I snapped photos of every page with my phone, my heart pounding so loud I could barely think. I stuffed the papers back into the envelope, slid it into the drawer, and closed it carefully. My legs felt unsteady as I stood, the room tilting. Back at my apartment that night, I opened Sophie's hospital photo again. This time, I zoomed in. The window behind her reflected palm trees and a shimmering pool. Not a hospital. A resort. In Miami, if I had to guess. I sat on my couch, staring at the image. My savings, my dreams, traded for a Lexus and a vacation. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. Sophie's feeling great today. Doctors say she might come home soon. You're the best, sister. I didn't reply. I opened my laptop and typed Seattle Advanced Medical Center into the search bar. Nothing. No hospital, no clinic, no trace. The website I'd checked weeks ago was still there, but the contact number was dead. The address didn't exist on any map. My breath caught in my throat. I scrolled through Sophie's Instagram, my hands shaking. 3 weeks ago, she was supposedly too weak to post. But someone had liked a string of photos from a Miami resort, the same one reflected in her hospital window. My phone rang, startling me. Sophie's name flashed on the screen. "Hey, sis," she said, her voice bright. Too bright for someone recovering from heart surgery. "Just checking in. You've been quiet. How's the hospital food?" I asked, keeping my tone light. "Oh, she said, laughing nervously. "Bland. Like always." "Funny," I said, my voice soft. "The resort you're at has a 5-star chef, according to Yelp." Silence. Thick, heavy silence. "I can explain," she started, but I hung up. My phone lit up with texts from Mom, then Dad. "Sophie's upset. Don't jump to conclusions. We can explain everything. Call us." I turned off my phone. The first crack in their lie had split open, and I wasn't stopping until I saw the whole truth. I sat in my darkened apartment, the glow of my laptop screen burning my eyes. The silence from Sophie's call still hung in the air, heavy, like a confession she didn't mean to make. My phone lay face down on the couch, buzzing with ignored texts from Mom and Dad. I didn't read them. Not yet. I needed answers, not excuses. The fake hospital, the Lexus, the Miami resort reflected in Sophie's photo, they weren't mistakes. They were lies. And I was done being their fool. I opened a new browser tab and searched again for Seattle Advanced Medical Center. Nothing. The website was still up, glossy and convincing, but every link led to dead ends. The phone number was disconnected. The address, when I plugged it into Google Maps, pointed to a random parking lot in downtown Seattle. My heart pounded. How had I missed this? I'd sent $75,000 to a ghost. I pulled up the email Dad sent with the hospital details. The certifications looked real, the doctor's name Dr. Richard Hayes sounded credible. I searched him. No record of a cardiologist by that name in Seattle. No trace anywhere. My fingers trembled as I typed Miami Resort into Instagram, filtering for recent posts. There it was, Sunset Palms Resort. Palm trees, infinity pools, the exact backdrop from Sophie's hospital photo. Posted 3 weeks ago, when she was supposedly fighting for her life. I needed help. Someone who'd seen through their lies before. I opened my contacts and found Aunt Laura, Mom's older sister, labeled a troublemaker by the family years ago. They'd cut her off after she accused Dad of mishandling Grandma's savings. I'd always thought she was bitter, jealous. Now, I wasn't so sure. I typed a message, my hands shaking. "Hi, Aunt Laura. I think I understand why you left the family. Can we talk?" Her reply came in seconds. "I've been waiting for this. Coffee tomorrow? Miami Java, 10 a.m. The next morning, I walked into the cafe, clutching a folder of screenshots, the Lexus bill, Sophie's photo, the fake hospital website. Laura was already there, her silver hair pulled back, her eyes sharp but kind. She stood and hugged me, the scent of her jasmine perfume tugging at childhood memories. "You look like your mom," she said, then added, "but I'd bet you're tougher." I spread my evidence on the table. It started with Sophie's heart condition. They said she needed surgery in Seattle. I gave them $75,000. Then I found this. I slid the Lexus bill toward her. And this. I showed her the resort reflection in Sophie's photo. Laura stirred her coffee, her face grim. "They've been running this con for years. It started with your grandparents' retirement fund. Your dad convinced them to invest in a sure thing. $150,000, gone. Your mom backed him up, said family loyalty comes first. Her voice turned sharp. When I threatened to call the cops, they turned everyone against me. Said I was unstable, trying to tear the family apart. I leaned forward, my voice low. They did this to others? Oh, yes, Laura said. 3 years ago, they pulled the same stunt with your cousin Anna. Told her Sophie needed emergency surgery in San Diego. Cost Anna $35,000. She hasn't come to a family gathering since. My stomach churned. Anna. Quiet, sweet Anna, who always sent me birthday cards. I opened my laptop and pulled up Sophie's Instagram again. Look at this, I said, showing Laura a post from the Miami resort, timestamped the day after my transfer. Sophie, lounging by the pool, sunglasses glinting. No hospital bed, no IVs. Just a cocktail in her hand. Laura's eyes narrowed. They're careless. Same resort they used for Anna's scam. They don't even bother changing their playbook. I opened my banking app, my hands shaking. There's more. My childhood savings $7,800 from birthday money, summer jobs. It was wiped out when I turned 18. The bank said it was a guardian-authorized transfer. I never saw a cent. Laura nodded, her jaw tight. That's their pattern. Fake emergencies, big promises, then they bleed you dry. They've been doing this since before you were born. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Please come home, Emily. We're worried. Let's talk as a family. I showed it to Laura. They're scared, she said, reading my face. They know you're onto them. I opened my email. Dad had sent a message at 2 a.m. Emily, your mom's a wreck. Whatever you think you've found, family matters stay private. Come home. We'll fix this. Fix this. I scoffed, my voice trembling. They stole my life. Laura reached across the table, her hand steady on mine. They didn't steal your life. Not yet. But you have to stop them now or they'll keep going. I took a deep breath, the weight of her words sinking in. What do I do? Keep digging, she said. Get every scrap of proof. Then get a lawyer. I know someone. She pulled a business card from her purse and slid it to me. Karen Brooks, attorney. Family financial fraud. I tucked the card into my folder, my resolve hardening. This wasn't just about my $75,000 anymore. It was about years of lies, years of trust they'd twisted into a weapon. I wasn't their good, reliable daughter anymore. I was their reckoning. I sat across from Aunt Laura at the cafe, my laptop open, papers scattered like evidence of a crime. And it was a crime. The more we dug, the clearer it became. My family's lies weren't just about me. They were a machine, grinding through trust, spitting out cash for their luxuries. Sophie's fake surgery, the Lexus, the Miami resort. It wasn't a one-off. It was their playbook, and I was just the latest mark. Laura sipped her coffee, pointing at a screenshot on my screen. This post from Sophie, 3 years ago. Same resort. Sunset Palms in Miami. Posted right after Anna sent $35,000 for her emergency surgery in San Diego. Her voice was steady, but her eyes burned. They didn't even change the hideout. I zoomed in on the photo. Sophie, laughing by the pool, a drink in her hand. The timestamp was unmistakable, 2 days after Anna's transfer. I opened another tab, pulling up bank records I'd downloaded last night. My childhood savings, wiped out at 18. $7,800, gone in a guardian-authorized transfer. I cross-checked the date. A week later, Dad bought a new boat. $8,200. The numbers didn't lie. They've been doing this forever, I said, my voice low, shaking. Every crisis, every sob story, it's a scam. Laura nodded, flipping through my folder of screenshots. Look at this. Your parents' vacation to Aspen, 2019. Right after they convinced your grandparents to invest $150,000 in a fake startup. And here, she tapped a photo of Mom's new kitchen remodel, posted on Facebook. This was a month after Anna's money came through. I leaned back, my head spinning. The pattern was so clear now, like a puzzle snapping into place. Every family emergency lined up with a big purchase. Cars, trips, renovations. Sophie's Instagram was a goldmine: posts from resorts, designer bags, all timed perfectly after someone in the family helped her. I found a post from last month, the day after my $75,000 transfer. Sophie in sunglasses, caption, "Living my best life. No hospital. No heart condition. Just lies." "Let's check public records," Laura said, pulling out her phone. "Your dad's name might be on property deals or loans." We searched together, my fingers flying across the keyboard. A condo in Miami, purchased 2 years ago under dad's name. $120,000. The same year Aunt Clara, mom's cousin, loaned them $100,000 for a medical emergency with Sophie. I found a lien on the condo, filed when Clara demanded her money back. They'd settled out of court. Quietly. "They're good at covering their tracks," Laura said, her voice bitter. "But not good enough." I opened my email, rereading Dad's message from last night. "Family matters stay private, Emily. Come home. We'll fix this." I showed it to Laura. "He's trying to scare me into silence." "He's desperate," she said, her eyes narrowing. "They know you have proof." "This?" She tapped my folder. "This is a ticking bomb." I pulled up another photo, one Sophie hadn't posted publicly. She'd sent it to me privately, a hospital selfie. But the background showed a logo on the bedspread: Sunset Palms Resort. I cross-referenced it with their website. An exact match. My stomach twisted. "They didn't even try to hide it from me," I said. "They thought I'd never look." Laura leaned forward. "They banked on you being the good daughter. The one who trusts, who sacrifices. They've been doing this since I was your age." I opened a spreadsheet I'd started, logging every scam we'd uncovered. Grandparents' retirement fund, $150,000. Anna's surgery, $35,000. Clara's loan, $100,000. My savings, $75,000. The numbers added up, a fortune built on betrayal. I added a note. "Check Sophie's college fund." I had a hunch they'd used my money there, too. "What's next?" I asked, my voice steadier now. Laura slid Karen Brooks' business card across the table. "Call her. She's a shark with family fraud cases. And keep documenting. Every text, every email, every photo. They'll try to twist this, make you the villain." My phone buzzed. Another text from Mom. "Emily, please. Sophie's crying. Come home. We're family." I didn't respond. I saved the text to my folder, another piece of their manipulation. I looked at Laura, my resolve like steel. They picked the wrong daughter to scam. She smiled, small but fierce. "That's my girl. Let's bury them with the truth." My apartment felt like a war room, papers and screenshots strewn across the coffee table. Aunt Laura's words echoed in my head. They picked the wrong daughter. My laptop hummed, opened to Sophie's Instagram, where her lies glowed in high definition. Sunset Palms Resort, not a hospital. A $70,000 Lexus, not a life-saving surgery. My $75,000 gone. I wasn't just angry. I was done. Done with their tears, their guilt trips, their fake family love. My phone buzzed, Sophie's name flashing. A video call. My thumb hovered over decline, but something stopped me. I needed to hear her try to lie her way out. I answered. Her face appeared, too healthy, too tan for someone fresh off heart surgery. "Hey, Em," she said, her voice bright, forced. "Having fun in Miami?" I asked, my tone light, like we were chatting about the weather. Her smile faltered, her eyes starting off-screen. "What?" "No, I'm in Seattle. You know that." "Funny," I said, leaning closer to the screen. "The Sunset Palms Resort has a 5-star chef. How's the hospital food holding up?" Silence. Her mouth opened, then closed. "Em, listen." "No, you listen." I cut her off, my voice sharp now. That money was my future. My dream. Everything I worked for since I was 16. And you spent it on a car and a vacation. We're done, Sophie. Emily, please, she started, her voice cracking, but I ended the call. My phone lit up instantly. Texts from Mom. Dad, Sophie. You're overreacting. Sophie's upset. Come home. We can explain. I saved each one to my evidence folder. They weren't pleas. They were traps. I stood, pacing the room, my heart racing. The truth was suffocating, but it was also freeing. I went to my closet, digging behind a pile of winter coats. There, in a dusty box of childhood keepsakes, was my old bank book. I flipped it open, the faded ink showing every deposit I'd made as a kid. Birthday checks, babysitting cash, summer job tips. Final balance, $7,800. I logged into my bank's website and checked the account history. A week after I turned 18, it was drained. Guardian authorized transfer. No explanation, no permission. Just gone. I sank to the floor, the bank book trembling in my hands. They'd been stealing from me for years. Not just my savings, but my trust, my loyalty. I opened my laptop and pulled up the spreadsheet I'd started with Laura. I added the $7,800, then cross-checked it with Dad's boat purchase. The timeline fit perfectly. My childhood dreams, traded for their toys. My phone buzzed again. An email from Dad. Emily, your mom's falling apart. This is getting out of hand. Whatever you think you know, we're family. Let's talk privately. Don't do anything rash. I scoffed, forwarding it to my evidence folder. Privately? So they could twist my words, make me the villain again? No chance. I grabbed Aunt Laura's business card from the table. Karen Brooks, attorney. Family financial fraud. I dialed her number, my pulse steady now. A calm voice answered. Brooks Law Office, this is Karen. Hi, I said, my voice firm. My name's Emily. My family's been stealing from me for years. I have proof, and I need your help. Tell me everything, Karen said, her tone sharp, professional. I laid it out. Sophie's fake surgery, the $75,000 transfer, the Lexus, the resort photos, my childhood savings. I emailed her my folder screenshots, bank records, texts. This is solid, she said after a pause. But it's deeper than you think. I see patterns like this all the time. Have you checked your credit report? My credit. I frowned, opening a new tab. No, why? Do it now, she said. If they took your savings as a kid, they might have used your name for more. I pulled up a free credit check site, my fingers shaking as I entered my social security number. The report loaded, and my breath caught. 3 credit cards, opened when I was 16, all in my name. A car loan, paid off last year, that I'd never heard of. My parents' signatures were on every document. Identity theft. I couldn't finish, my voice breaking. Criminal, Karen said, her voice steady. We can build a case. Fraud, identity theft, maybe more. But they'll fight dirty, Emily. Are you ready? I looked at my phone, still buzzing with Mom's texts. Please, Emily. Sophie needs you. Don't tear us apart. I turned it off. I'm ready, I said. I want them to answer for everything. Good, Karen said. Send me the credit report. I'll draft a police report tonight. We'll meet tomorrow to file it. I hung up, my eyes falling on Sophie's last text. You're breaking my heart, Em. Why would you do this? I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my laptop and added the credit report to my spreadsheet. Every lie, every theft, every betrayal. They thought I'd stay quiet, the good daughter who always put family first. They were wrong. I sat in Karen Brooks' office, the air thick with the scent of leather and coffee. My evidence folder lay open on her desk, a map of my family's betrayal, bank records, Sophie's resort photos, the Lexus bill, my stolen childhood savings. Karen, sharp-eyed and calm, flipped through the credit report I'd sent her last night. 3 credit cards, a car loan, all opened in my name when I was 16. Identity theft, plain and simple. My hands clenched in my lap. This is extensive, Karen said, her voice steady, professional. Your parents didn't just take your savings. They've been using your identity for years. This is criminal, Emily. We can build a strong case: fraud, identity theft, maybe wire fraud if we trace that $75,000 transfer. I nodded, my throat tight. There's more, I said, sliding another document across the desk. My college fund. They told me it was wiped out in a stock market crash. But I found this. It was a bank statement showing a $20,000 transfer from my fund to Sophie's private university tuition for years ago. She dropped out after 1 semester. They kept the refund. Karen's eyes narrowed. They used you as a piggy bank. Your future, your dreams, all collateral for their lifestyle. She leaned back, tapping a pen against her notepad. This isn't just about the $75,000 for Sophie's surgery. It's a pattern. We need to prove it in court. What do we do? I asked, my voice steadier than I felt. We start with a police report, she said. I've drafted one based on your evidence. We'll file it today. Then we contact your bank's fraud department. They can flag any suspicious activity on your accounts. And Emily, she paused, meeting my eyes, brace yourself. Your family will push back. Hard. As if on cue, my phone buzzed. Mom's name flashed. I ignored it, but Karen nodded at the screen. Save that. Every call, every text, it's evidence of their tactics. I opened my phone. A voicemail from Mom, left an hour ago. Emily, the neighbors saw you at a lawyer's office. What are you doing? Please don't tear this family apart. Her voice was shaky, perfect for the grieving mother role. I played it for Karen, who jotted notes. Classic manipulation, she said. They'll try guilt, threats, anything to stop you. Have they accessed your accounts recently? I frowned, logging into my bank app. My heart sank. 3 withdrawal attempts yesterday. All denied, but they got my security questions right. Of course they did, Karen said, her voice dry. They're your parents. They know everything about you. She typed something on her laptop. I'll coordinate with the bank to lock your accounts. We'll need statements going back 7 years, any communication about money. A knock interrupted us. Karen's assistant peeked in. Miss Brooks, Mr. and Mrs. Carter are in the lobby, demanding to see their daughter. My blood ran cold. They followed me here. Karen hit the intercom. Call security. Inform them we have unauthorized visitors interfering with a client meeting. I glanced through the office blinds. Mom was sobbing, clutching a tissue, while Dad argued with the receptionist, his face red. Divide and conquer. Mom played the victim. Dad played the bully. I'd seen it 100 times growing up. Back, exit. I asked, my voice low. Karen nodded, gathering my files. This way. I'll have security escort you to your car. As we slipped out, my phone buzzed again. A text from Sophie. Mom and Dad are crying. How could you do this? We're family. You'll regret this. I saved it, my jaw tight. Regret? The only thing I regretted was trusting them. At the police station that afternoon, Karen and I filed the report. The officer, Detective Lopez, scanned my evidence, her eyebrow rising. This is thorough. Most people don't document family fraud like this. I learned to watch them, I said, my voice flat. They're good at covering their tracks. Not good enough, Lopez said, stamping the report. We'll open an investigation. Expect pushback, though. Family cases get messy. My phone buzzed as we left. An email from Dad. Emily, you're destroying us. Mom's in bed, sick with worry. Every job you apply for, every background check, will show you betrayed your family. Is this worth it? Think hard. I forwarded it to Karen and Lopez. Add witness intimidation, I said. Karen smiled, small but fierce. They're panicking. That's good. It means we're close. I gripped my evidence folder, the weight of it grounding me. They thought I'd back down, stay the quiet daughter who always saved them. But every lie they told, every dollar they stole, had built this moment. I wasn't just fighting for my money, I was fighting for my life. The air in my apartment felt heavy, like it was holding its breath. My phone buzzed relentlessly, a swarm of texts and voicemails from Mom, Dad, Sophie. Each one a plea, a threat, a twist of the knife. I sat at my desk, my evidence folder open, screenshots and bank records glowing on my laptop screen. Karen's words rang in my head, "They'll fight dirty." She wasn't wrong. My family was coming for me, and they weren't holding back. I played Mom's latest voicemail, her voice trembling with rehearsed despair. "Emily, there are police cars outside our house. Is this what you want? To see your parents in handcuffs?" I saved it, my jaw tight. Detective Lopez had warned me they'd try to guilt me into silence. I forwarded the message to her with a note. More intimidation. My phone buzzed again. An email from Dad, sent at 3 a.m. "You're ruining everything we built. Mom can't stop crying. The neighbors won't look at us. Sophie's job is asking questions. Is this your goal? To destroy your family? It's not too late to fix this. Call the police. Say it's a misunderstanding. We'll handle it privately." I scoffed, forwarding it to Karen and Lopez. Privately? So they could bury my future like they buried my savings? I opened Sophie's Instagram, unable to stop myself. Her latest story was a selfie, her eyes red, the background carefully staged to look like a hospital room. The caption read, "Miss my sister. Why would you do this to me?" But the curtains were too fancy, the bed too plush. Sunset Palms Resort, same as before. I screenshot it, adding it to my folder. She wasn't even trying to hide anymore. She just thought I'd cave. A text came through from my bank's fraud department. "Ms. Carter, we've flagged multiple unauthorized attempts to access your accounts. All denied. Please call to confirm additional security measures." I dialed immediately, my pulse racing. The agent, Lisa, sounded grim. "They got your security questions right again, Emily. Someone's been trying to transfer $10,000 from your savings." "Of course," I said, my voice flat. "It's my parents." "We've locked everything down," Lisa assured me. "But they're persistent. We found a forged mortgage application in your name last week, $200,000. It was flagged before it went through." A mortgage? My hands shook as I gripped the phone. They were still stealing from me, even now. I thanked Lisa and hung up, adding the details to my spreadsheet. Every move they made was another nail in their coffin. I met Karen at her office that evening, the city lights glinting through her window. She reviewed my latest evidence, her expression unreadable. "This mortgage attempt is serious," she said, tapping the bank's email. "It's not just fraud now. It's attempted grand larceny. And this." She held up Sophie's fake hospital selfie. "It's almost laughable how sloppy they're getting." "What's next?" I asked, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "We're filing for a restraining order," Karen said. "Your parents showed up at my office, and now this mortgage scam. They're escalating. We'll also push the police to seize their computers. If they're hiding accounts, we'll find them." My phone buzzed mid-sentence. "Mom, again?" "Emily, your dad tried to talk to your boss today. Security sent him away, but please, stop this. We're your family." I showed it to Karen, my stomach churning. "They'd gone to my workplace." "Harassment," Karen said, typing furiously. "We'll add it to the charges. They're desperate, Emily. That's good for us." I nodded, but the weight of their betrayal pressed harder. I wasn't just fighting for my money anymore. I was fighting for my life, my freedom, my right to exist outside their lies. I pulled out my laptop and emailed Sarah Miller, the investigative reporter Aunt Laura had connected me with. "I'm ready to go public. Here's everything." I attached my folder bank records, photos, texts, the forged mortgage. Sarah replied within minutes. "This is explosive. I'll need a day to verify, but we're running this." "Are you sure?" I stared at the screen, Dad's email flashing in my mind. You'll destroy your family. No. They destroyed me, piece by piece, since I was a kid. I typed back, I'm sure. Run it. As I left Karen's office, my phone lit up with a call from Sophie. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. She said, her voice soft, pleading. You're breaking us. Why can't you just come home? Home. I laughed, bitter. You mean the house you paid for with my dreams? I'm done, Sophie. Tell Mom and Dad to get a lawyer. I hung up, my hands trembling, but my resolve like iron. I walked to my car, security trailing me as Karen had arranged. In the distance, I heard Mom's voice, calling my name from the street. Emily, please. We can explain. I didn't look back. I drove to a safe house Karen had set up, a small apartment with no trace to my name. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Dad. You're no daughter of mine. I saved it. Another piece of evidence. Another reason to keep fighting. They thought they could scare me, shame me, silence me. But I wasn't their good little girl anymore. I was their reckoning, and the truth was coming for them. I woke to the sound of my burner phone buzzing. The safe house, still dark at 6 a.m. Sarah Miller's article had gone live on the Miami Herald's website. Family fraud exposed. A daughter's fight against decades of deception. By noon, it was trending nationwide, spreading like wildfire across social media. I sat on the couch, my laptop open, watching my family's perfect facade crumble in real time. Every lie, every stolen dollar, laid bare for the world to see. Sarah had done her job well. The article was brutal, weaving my evidence into a damning narrative. Sophie's fake surgery, the $75,000 I'd sent, the Lexus purchase days later, the Sunset Palms resort photos. It detailed the $7,800 stolen from my childhood savings, the credit cards opened in my name, the $20,000 college fund diverted to Sophie's tuition. Comments poured in. This happened to me. My parents did the same. Thank you for speaking out. My burner phone rang. Lisa from the bank's fraud department. Emily, your dad tried to empty their accounts this morning, she said, her voice clipped. We froze everything. He's threatening to sue us. Let me guess, I said, my voice steady. Mom's calling your office, crying? Nonstop, Lisa said. She says we're ruining her family by helping the police. I opened my laptop, skimming the article's comment section. Strangers shared their stories. They scammed me in 2018, same surgery story in San Diego. I worked with them. Always buying cars, but broke for bills. I knew Sophie in college. She bragged about conning her sister. My inbox flooded with emails from old friends, distant cousins. Your mom borrowed $4,000 for Sophie's treatment last year. Your dad pitched a fake business to my parents. Aunt Laura called, her voice urgent. Turn on Channel 6. I switched on the TV. There they were, Mom, mascara streaking, clinging to Dad's arm as they pushed through reporters outside their house. My daughter's unstable, Mom sobbed into a microphone. She's always been jealous of Sophie. This is a misunderstanding. The camera panned to Sophie, ducking into her Lexus, a reporter shouting, Is it true you were in Miami spending your sister's money during your surgery? My phone buzzed. Sarah, police just froze all their assets. Sophie's trying to sell the Lexus. Want a comment for the follow-up? I smiled, small but fierce. Use everything I sent you. No more secrets. I switched to social media. My anonymous blog, The Cost of Trust, was exploding. Thousands shared it, their comments a chorus of pain and gratitude. This gave me courage to report my family. You're not alone. I forwarded Sophie's latest Instagram post to Detective Lopez. She'd posted from an airport, passport in hand, caption, Time to start over. Goodbye, Miami. I typed 2 words, she's running. Lopez replied instantly. Border Patrol's on it. Stay safe. I closed my laptop, the safe house quiet except for the hum of the fridge. Across town, my family's world was collapsing, and for the first time, I felt free. Not just from their lies, but from the weight of being their perfect daughter. My phone buzzed again. A message from Anna, my cousin. I read the article. I should have spoken up when they scammed me for $35,000. I'm sorry, Emily. It's not your fault, I texted back. They're good at making us feel powerless. Another email arrived from Aunt Clara. I should have listened to Laura years ago. They took $100,000 from me. How can I help? I forwarded her info to Lopez. Another witness, another crack in their empire. The TV flashed with breaking news. Local family under investigation for decades of fraud. A photo showed police cars outside my parents' house. My burner phone rang again. Lopez. We've got 9 more victims coming forward, Emily. How long have you kept records? 7 years, I said. But Laura has older evidence. Good, she said. Your dad's claiming the transfers were gifts. We'll bury that with your files. I leaned back, the couch creaking. They'd called me jealous, unstable, a traitor. Let them. The truth was louder. My phone buzzed with a final text from Dad. You've destroyed us. Hope you're happy. I forwarded it to Lopez. Add this to the file. Somewhere, my family was realizing their reliable daughter wasn't so reliable anymore. And I was just getting started. The courthouse steps swarmed with reporters, their cameras flashing like a storm. I walked beside Aunt Laura, her hand steady on my arm. 3 months had passed since Sarah's article tore my family's lies apart. Today, the hearing would seal their fate. Inside, I saw the mom, Dad, Sophie sitting with their lawyer, dressed in crisp suits, playing the part of a respectable family. Sophie's ankle monitor blinked under her skirt. She'd been caught at the airport, trying to flee to the Bahamas. Mom's eyes, red and teary, locked onto mine. Emily, please, she mouthed. The officer snapped, Mrs. Carter, no contact with the witness. Detective Lopez met me outside the courtroom, her voice low. We found more victims. Elder fraud charges are being added. They stole $50,000 from your grandma's nursing home fund. I nodded, my face blank. Mom's courtroom tears were just another act. Laura leaned in. She gave an interview yesterday, claiming you're mentally unstable, making it all up. Karen, my lawyer, opened her briefcase. The forensic accountants finished their report. She handed me a document. The total stolen over the years, $927,000. That's just what we can prove, Lopez added. The judge called the hearing to order. I sat in the front row as the charges were read. Fraud, identity theft, elder abuse, witness intimidation. Dad's lawyer stood. Not guilty, Your Honor. Mom whispered, please, sweetheart, her voice a calculated plea. I stared ahead, unmoved. The prosecutor rose. Your Honor, the defendants continue to access frozen accounts and harass witnesses. We request bail revocation. Chaos erupted. Mom sobbed. Dad argued with his lawyer. Sophie slumped, her ankle monitor beeping. The judge's gavel slammed. Order. Bail revoked. Defendants are remanded into custody. As they were led away, Dad turned to me. This isn't family, Emily. You're right, I said, loud enough for the room to hear. Family doesn't steal from family. Outside, Sarah waited, her notebook ready. Your blog's gone global, Emily. People are sharing their stories. You've started a movement. My burner phone buzzed. Lisa from the bank. We found more accounts. They siphoned $15,000 from your college fund before you were 18. Another message from Anna. They're arresting my mom for helping them. Thank you, Emily. I opened my laptop, my blog The Cost of Trust flooded with comments. You gave me strength to report my parents. Thank you for showing we're not alone. Laura touched my arm. Ready for the press conference? I nodded, stepping to the microphone. Cameras flashed. My name is Emily Carter, I began, my voice clear. And I'm here to tell you what happens when family loyalty becomes a weapon. This isn't about revenge. It's about truth, about breaking the cycle of abuse. A reporter interrupted. Your mom says you've torn the family apart. Your response? They tore it apart when they chose fraud over love, I said. I'm done being their victim. Back at my apartment, no more safe houses, Laura helped me sort through letters from supporters. An FBI envelope caught my eye. More victims, more schemes, dating back 20 years. They were doing this before you were born, Laura said. My phone rang. Lopez. Sophie's lawyer wants a plea deal. A full confession for a lighter sentence. She's ready to talk. No deal, I said. Let her face the consequences. Sarah called next. A publisher wants your blog as a book. Breaking the family fraud cycle. Interested? I smiled, skimming my blog's latest comments. Your story saved my retirement. Finally, someone understands family financial abuse. An email from Dad arrived. You've won. We're broke. Happy now? I forwarded it to Lopez. Evidence file. Laura brought coffee, sitting beside me. The restitution hearings next week. They'll pay back what they stole. It was never about the money, I said, closing my laptop. It's about the lies, how they used family as a cage. My phone buzzed. Anna again. Mom confessed to 3 more scams. More charges coming. Their empire was dust. My final blog post went live that night, dedicated to everyone silenced for the sake of family. Your voice matters. Your truth matters. Sometimes, the greatest loyalty is saying no more. Comments flooded in. You started a revolution. Thank you for leading the way. Laura read over my shoulder. You did it, Emily. We did it, I corrected. We all spoke up. My phone pinged. FBI. Evidence secured. More charges pending. Thank you for your courage. I closed my eyes, the memory of that midnight call about Sophie's surgery fading. They thought I'd stay quiet, the perfect daughter. They were wrong. I was perfect at exposing their lies. Outside, life moved on. Inside, I was free, no longer the keeper of their secrets.